Greetings, my fellow fencers. Probably most of my audience here are asking themselves, why am I speaking English? Well, this is a very special video I'm making. It's to review a sword that I ordered it was like a month ago, maybe a bit more, perhaps, maybe less, who knows. But I ordered a new small sword, and all of you know that I really love small swords. For you, those that don't speak Spanish, probably missed a lot of things from my channel. But what can I say? I teach Smallsword, and I love it. Just to be real quick, because I don't want to make this video extremely long. But yeah, the last review I made was from two different small swords, and I will be really short because I don't want to make the whole review in English. So real quick, I make a review of the Rogue Steel small sword, which is this one, and the Castile Armory, I think it's pronounced like that. But I made a review of those two, and I ended up saying that the Rogue Steel wasn't really what I was expecting in a good way. I thought it was not going to be a good small sword because the store doesn't say anything about historical European martial arts anywhere. It's not like they're saying it's a replica or reproduction or something close to the historical of the historical example. But here it is, and it's actually very good. It's not bad. It's using a musketeer blade, so it's a little bit more heavy than what a small sword would be, normally speaking. But yeah, it's very good. I liked it from those two because I made the review of them together, comparing each other. Now with the Castile Armory, I don't have it here. I still have it, I just don't have it here. But I ended up saying that it was the economy version. It was a bit weird because the hilt itself was bigger than I would have expected for a small sword. Just imagine this, but like twice the size of the shells, and the knuckle bow was even longer, like away from the grip, and the pommel was very big too. It was bigger than I expected, and my conclusion was that it felt kind of like a hybrid between a rapier and a small sword. And I'm not talking about a transitioning rapier. It's actually like a weird hybrid. It was the blade, of course, was an épée blade, so yeah, small sword in that way, but the hilt was too big for a small sword. And yeah, it wasn't bad, and the balance was still a bit weird because all the weight was, it was a strange thing. It wasn't bad at all. It was a good small sword, but it didn't feel like a small sword. But today I'm bringing to you the best that I've ever managed to handle for practice, of course. In my life, I only managed to handle an actual antique, only one. So that's the only idea that I have about how a small sword should feel. So maybe you decide what to take, what to leave, but here it is, okay? It's the feather small sword. I will not go a lot into detail, like what's the material, the type of blade. It's an épée blade, but I'm not going into like what's the company that made the blade, because they don't do it. They don't make the blades. I'm just going straight to how it feels. Is it good? That kind of thing. So I love it. Yeah, that's the quick answer. I love it in all ways, in any single way you can have. I love it. Now, there is just a few things that I will like to say that are not bad, but it's a bit weird. Okay, it's just one. It's the grip. I love the shape it has. It actually forces me in a way to pinch the sword because it gets thick here or bigger. I don't know how you will say it. English is not my first language, as you will imagine, but it gets thicker there. So yeah, it kind of forces me to put my fingers in that position. I mean, obviously I can just put my index a little bit up if I need to. Some people do it. In my case, I like to hold it here. Unless I'm doing tiers, that's when I put my finger there, right? But most of the time I'm like this, and it forces me to put it that way. Now the thing that I have with that is, I will put a few examples here, obviously, but I didn't find any single antique or in any way that you would like to say it, original Smallsword, I don't know, but I didn't find any that had that shape. Is it bad? As I said, no, it's not bad. Yeah, I actually like it a lot more than the regular shape that is like this. It's the majority of the mass is in the center, gets bigger there, and then the rest is just smaller. It's not a crazy difference, but I like it. I don't know how historical that is, but that's the only thing I have to say. The rest is excellent. The only thing I would like to say to some of you, not to them, if you're not you're not into Smallsword, you might think that this decoration with like holes is not a very good idea. Maybe because most of the Smallswords you see are always like this, just flat, plain. I mean, not flat, some of them are, they have a little curve, but what I mean is just plain like that, no decoration, nothing at all, any holes. And you might think that at historical Smallswords, I mean, I have one here that is a replica. I mean, it's from cold steel, but it resembles an actual Smallsword. It doesn't even have any holes, and you might think maybe Smallswords or antiques don't have those holes, and this is just another thing that they just like to add. Well, in this case, they do exist. I actually found quite a few examples. I will put them here, and if I'm correct, the one I managed to handle had decoration in that way, had little holes for decoration. Now the other thing, again, is not a big thing, it's just the finish. It's a little rough, you can see the scratches there, and I didn't use it yet, so I mean constantly, I just used it once, and I remember these when I got it. So, but that's, I mean, again, it's just looking very close that I can see the scratches and the things and the little flaws, but everything, I mean, it's fine, nothing that I will have to worry about, never. Again, it's just little things that I will have to look very close so I can see them, the scratches, the things, but it's fine, I love it. I will really recommend you buying from them. It's Feather Smallswords. If you are into Smallswords, go ahead. I mean, they have different models, it's not only this. They have models with smaller rings. I mean, personally, I like this way. It lets me put my finger in this rested here, so I can know that I'm doing my tiers in a way I like it, instead of trying to guess if the sword is in the proper position. Also, they have models without the knuckle bow. Obviously, models for smaller blades or longer blades, I guess. I might not be sure about that one. It wouldn't make a lot of sense, right? You just cut the tang. But anyway, they have different models, that's the point. They have different models for the shells with different decoration. I really like this one in general. And again, it's just, in a way, I'm just making a review of the hilt, because the blade, they don't make them. Usually in the Smallsword store, or market, better said, you don't buy blades like a specific blade like you will do for a longsword or a saber. You don't, I think you know where I'm heading. It's like you buy either a musketeer blade or an Olympic fencing épée blade, and those will be the best options, and usually that's what all the stores do. They buy from Olympic fencing, blades from any store. It could be PVT, could be Almond, Leon Paul. You can choose. Absolute fencing if you want something cheaper. You have many options, and all of them will be perfectly fine. Obviously, if you want more durability, get something better, right? But it could be anything. Everything will fit. The weight will mostly be the same, unless again you're getting a musketeer blade. Usually they're a little bit heavier. I don't know if they have different sizes. I think they always have the same size. Maybe, depends. I don't know. I the only musketeer blade I have is this one, and they are harder to find. So usually people just get these. And to be honest, I prefer epee blades. So yeah, that's mostly what I have to say. I really love it. I think I will never buy any other kind of Smallsword. I will stay with them. I really like how they feel, the way they are. There is one thing that the only thing I will never do with this is to fight and like mix weapons. I will never do, for example, this Smallsword, this one specifically. I'm not saying that it never happened. I will never use this one specifically to fight against a saber or Scottish broadsword or something from the same time. Obviously, you can try longsword if you want. They're gonna destroy you if you don't know what you're doing. But yes, I will not use it, not because it will not stand the hits or you will not have the skill with this Smallsword. It's because you don't want to damage it. It's a really good work. It's perfect. I mean, it's a work of art. From my ass at least. And they even tell you, they send me a letter. They probably do it for everyone. It was a nice thing anyway, but they send you a letter. In that letter they tell you that you should not use it against something else that is not a foil or a Smallsword. So yeah, so in that case I would recommend you getting Rogue Steel, because this bad boy can actually handle those kind of things, and they are not exactly the most beautiful Smallswords that you can. The Smallswords by themselves are very beautiful. So, but what I mean with this is not exactly very decorated. Doesn't have a lot of things that you should worry about. The only thing is the shells. Maybe they will bend a little. You can see it there. It bent already because I'm using it against Scottish broadswords. To see how it would be, how it would have felt a little bit, at least. Obviously, this is not the original times. But I will recommend you this in that case, because you will, if something happens, you will not feel sorry about it. It will still take a lot of damage before something snaps. Like, I don't think the knuckle bow will break or something. To be honest, it's really good material, everything. So in that case, if you really want to do Smallsword against something else, I would recommend you, you can use this, but I would recommend you getting something else. But most of the time when you have a Smallsword, to be completely honest, what you will fight against is going to be another Smallsword, because that's what Smallswords were normally used against, other Smallswords. So thank you very much for watching. Sorry about my English. But yeah, thank you a lot to the store also. They were very good. They have very good customer service. I made a pre-order actually. The store wasn't open when I pre-ordered the Smallsword. So, and the guy who was talking to me, he was very nice. And thank you a lot for this beautiful thing that I have here in my hands. And well, see you next time. If you speak Spanish, then you can come back to my channel. If you don't, well, I'm sorry, I actually just make the videos in Spanish. This was just a special occasion, as I said, so this is why this video is in English. But yeah, no more talking. Thank you for watching.